Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Okay, what we're going to be talking about today is reality. Really, yeah. So grab your coffee, maybe a snack, and let's get into it, okay? So over the past several years, it's just been one thing after another. It seems like we just can't catch a break, And just when we think that things are starting to settle down just a little tiny bit, another disaster suddenly strikes. It seems like in all of my 46 years of being on this planet, I've honestly never seen anything like this. And it's like month after month, bad things just keep happening from coast to coast. And this endless series of disasters has caused a tremendous amount of long-term damage. And, I can give you examples, if you want. And it's like, okay, citrus greening disease. Okay, Florida, which is where I live. I live in the Tampa Bay area. Okay, Florida was already on pace for the worst orange crop since World War II. But then Hurricane Ian made things much worse. And a lot of my community members were affected by Hurricane Ian. Right? Now, as a result, it has now been projected that the upcoming orange crop in Florida will be a whopping 32% smaller than the previous one. All right? Orange juice prices are likely headed higher. And Hurricane Ian, it damaged what was already forecasted to be the lowest Florida crop in decades. So the U.S. Department of Agriculture said that orange production in Florida is down by 32% from last season, marking the scantiest, predicted harvest in nearly 80 years. Now, in October, the citrus report, the agency said that all orange forecast for the Sunshine State was 28 million boxes. Now, I know you're going to say, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Mm-mm. That's compared to 41 million boxes last year. Yeah. So that number includes 11 million boxes of non-Valencia oranges and 17 million boxes of Valencia oranges. Okay, there's a big difference between non-Valencia and Valencia, just saying, okay? Now, additionally, the forecast of all like grapefruit production is 2 million boxes, which is 40% lower than last season's utilization of 3.33 million boxes. So if you like your orange juice, right, get ready to pay a lot more money for it at the grocery store. All right. Now, the supplies of the orange juice have gotten much tighter and the prices are surging to unprecedented levels. So, just talking about this, and I know you're saying it's just orange juice. You don't understand. Oranges are literally the biggest thing that, and you would think that Disney would be like our biggest thing. No, it's oranges. It's our biggest thing here in Florida. Meanwhile, we have the extreme drought conditions that have caused the Mississippi River to drop to the lowest levels ever recorded in certain areas, okay? In Chester, Illinois, the river gauge of the Mississippi River dropped to 0 last week. And according to the Missouri Department of Conservation, there was a drone video, right, of the Mississippi River, which is near Memphis, Tennessee, also reveals how far the 200, because it's 270 miles long, okay, how far this 270 mile long river has contracted in recent months. Now in Memphis, this river dropped to minus 10.75 feet. That's a lot. It's concerning, okay? And this is the lowest record ever recorded there, okay? Now, in downtown Baton Rouge, Louisiana, now listen to this, okay? They have found the shipwrecked remains of the Brook Hill, which was a trading vessel dating back to the earliest 20th century. Imagine that. The early 20th century shipwreck because of this drought. That's crazy. All right. Now, the low water levels have exposed the remains earlier this month, okay, of a ship that sunk. What? Did you ever think you would hear about such things? Okay, now this is a major crisis because normally more than 400 million tons of goods move along the Mississippi, okay, the river, each year. Now, if these barges cannot travel, the goods ain't going to go nowhere. All right. Now, over the past few weeks, there's literally thousands of barges. Okay, I've talked about this. Thousands of barges have been forced to just sit. They can't go nowhere. They can't move. They have to sit because there's not enough water. Okay. So there's also a tremendous amount of rain is needed in order to fix this problem. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, if they can cloud seed, you honestly think they're going to do something to fix this? No. No. Why would they do that? But unfortunately, there won't be too much rain in the foreseeable future. You know it and I know it. So now on the West Coast, San Francisco Bay Area, they were shaken by a magnitude of a 5.1 earthquake. Okay? And it shook buildings and marking the strongest quake in the region it has seen in 8 years. And there were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. Thank God. There was, but still. Now, this quake really shook up a lot of people, which rightfully so. But the good news, there was no serious damage done. Okay, but this should definitely be a wake-up call for everyone that lives in that region. And scientists assure us that the big one, you remember, everybody says, but the big one's coming, the big one's coming. It's way overdue, they said. Is it? Wow. They can warn us all they want of this potential of the big one. It's supposed to be a cataclysmic, seismic event for the West Coast. If we're way overdue, you just pray to God that it doesn't ever happen. The entire west coast of the United States sits along what's called the Ring of Fire. And up to this point, those that live there have been very, very fortunate. I've got family that live out there in West Hollywood. But the clock is ticking. And at some point, that luck is just going to run out. But speaking of seismic activity, there's a very large magnitude of 6.4 earthquake that rattled the Philippines. Okay? It was the northern Philippines. And officials said that no serious damage was expected and no tsunami warning was issued. And the U.S. Geological Survey said that the magnitude was 6.4, was centered 16.2 kilometers, which is 10 miles for, us in the U.S., 10 miles below the surface, about 7 miles from Dolores, Dolores, and Luzon, Luzon Island. So, right now, I'm going to encourage everyone to pay attention to the unusual seismic activity that we are all witnessing all over the planet, because I believe that it will one day be a major story in the months ahead. In addition, these droughts, the flooding, it's going to intensify even more all over the place, all over the planet. And these weird global weather patterns that we're seeing, it's going to go completely nuts. For many decades, we could count on our world, on our planet, to be relatively stable, right? Unfortunately, that is now starting to change in a major way, and that has very serious implications for all of us. All right, guys. I'm out of here. I appreciate you. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless. Ciao.